I'm with Unity Connected Solutions, the president of that company. We're a large national business partner, Platinum, across Canada. We work with the entire stack. We've been doing this for a long time. The previous company that I worked with, actually, we were the first enterprise independent partner on the planet back in the original AT&T days. So that's who we are.
I'm Mitch Needles. I'm with Cinex. We're probably the newest distributor to the U.S. channel. Been authorized for about 2 years now, and I'm the director. I handle overall Avaya strategy with Cinex, and we partner with them in multiple ways, from OEM packaging all the way to selling to the reseller community.
Hi, my name is Jeff Hebert. I'm the CEO of ROI Networks. We're located in San Juan Capistrano, California. Been a partner for about 13 years with Avaya as ROI Networks, and we traditionally specialized in premise-based communication contact center solutions, and we're just rolling out our unified communications and contact center services, a cloud offering, so we're pretty excited about evolving through that stack with Avaya.
Hello, my name is Ian Pugh with G Solutions. We're a Platinum mid-market focused partner based in California, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and also just opened an office in Vegas.
Hi, my name is Reza Kazaruni. I'm the president of Network Voice and Data. We're based out of New York City. We've been Avaya partners for 4 years through the acquisition of Avaya of Nortel. Previously, we've been distributing Nortel products for about 20 years before that.
Hello, Greg Cinnamon. I'm with Advent Communications out of Pittsburgh. About 14 years in the making. We're a full integrator from security products through voice and data. We are a Platinum partner as well, focused on the East Coast, but do sell globally.
I'm David Reinhardt. I'm also with Advent Communications, and I'm kind of brand new to the partner community after spending about 20 years at Avaya, so having a lot of fun.
My name is David Dart with Vive Communications. We're based out of Boston, Massachusetts. Avaya partner, strictly focused on the mid-market. We've been in business now, this is our 6th year.
Great. Well, I know we have some questions out there. Art.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Art Scholler, Forrester Research, I cover both UC and contact centers. Actually, I have a one-on-one later with Joe Manuel, so anything you want to talk about cloud or want me to tee up for that session, let me know. But in essence, my question is, what do you as partners feel about the maturity and the capability of Avaya's cloud go-to-market strategy? Don't all raise your hands at once.
Anybody specific, or you want to go around the table?
Just the right turn.
Just see
Yeah. And use the mic.
I'll go. You want to go? Good. There. Like us.
Yeah, so from a Cinex perspective and distribution, we see that as coming out strong. Kind of recent events, are driving that. So Cinex, we partner with Avaya. We have our own cloud offering now, using IP Office. Plays well in the mid-market space. Other distributors doing the same thing. As you see their initiatives with Google, using those Chromebooks like they talked about earlier in general session. I think it's just starting. I think the marketplace has a lot of pent-up demand that would embrace it. And Avaya's strategy, I think, gives the customers a choice. Then I can either go on-premise with the solution, or I can give you a solution in the cloud. And so you have the option to do in a CapEx or OpEx type of model. So I think we're in the early stages of it, but I believe their product set definitely will play well in that space.
Jeff Hebert again. We are just getting ready to launch our cloud publicly. Have a lot of experience with Avaya over the years with both unified communications and contact center. We are going to be launching our cloud based on Avaya's collaboration pod, and then, of course, selling as a service, and there's a subscription model to do so. From a contact center perspective, as we were deploying our pod, we did run into a snag, being that there was a Avaya professional services engineer that recommended we go with the E164 dial plan, which consisted of 11 digits to make sure we could scale. And lo and behold, their application called ANAV that actually allows tenant partitioning of their call center reporting and analytics application called Call Management System couldn't support an 11-digit dial plan. So we hit a little bit of a snag on the analytics and reporting from a contact center perspective, which I think is indicative of Avaya growing up as a premise-based player, now all of a sudden having to deal with multi-tenant, multi-instance, public-private hybrid cloud. So I have no doubt they'll get it figured out, but that was a little bit of a snag. And then the only other feedback I have, because I'm pretty excited about the offer, I've invested heavily in it, is that the IP Office portfolio is not a subscription-based model. That's why they're using the wholesale distributors to acquire and host, and then they will make that a subscription model to their resellers, right? So I wish the two models were identical, but they're not. That would be the only other feedback I have. I got to get that
So in
done.
essence, from an Avaya, it's a wholesale license to you as the wholesaler. So you're putting the licenses in essence on the shelf, kind of taking the subscription risk. Okay.
Yeah, there's no transfer of that subscription until the end of the month, right? So
Right.
all I do is I buy my capital hardware, I get it all set up, put my network in place, my hosting scenario, and then I rent licenses from Avaya, right? So I don't have to buy anything on the Aura solution.
Yeah.
So from an Aura perspective, they download an application called Control Center Manager. They audit the license use, and they actually render a bill to me at the end of that period, which I then take and wrap my value add around it and put a single bill in front of the customer. From an IP Office perspective, that model is a little bit different in that you can't really do tenant partitioning with the IP Office. It's not really built to do so. So they're doing multi-instance with IP Office. So you have to buy the licenses in advance, host it on your own infrastructure, or use something like Synnex to basically procure that on a monthly basis and then resell to your customer.
But I'm hearing your preference probably would be to have the same licensing model for IP Office as well, because the risk then is shared back to Avaya as opposed to you taking the licensing risk.
Right, as a reseller, as a VAR, evolving into a cloud service provider, I want to offer as much unique competitive advantage as I can with our offering. And if I just order through wholesale distribution and then just white label it and put my name on it, what's the difference or barrier to entry from me and the next VAR down the street, right? So I know there's a place for that people don't really want to build their own cloud infrastructure and get into all the complexities associated with that, but that's not my model. So I'd rather see the two consistent.
Well, if you want the licenses and the complexity, then talk to Cisco. Thank you for your answers.
But
Any others?
I'll just add one thing. I think that one of the challenges that they're working through is the whole, being so channel focused for so long, having to understand the direct versus channel kind of approach to the marketplace, right? Because with Avaya branded products, they're deploying the professional services of Avaya, then understanding how the channel kind of plays in is something that I think they're, I don't say struggling through, but I think thinking through. So the strategy is great. The execution for the partner, I think, is to be determined would be my feedback.
Great, great. Paul?
Okay, I guess this might get different answers from everybody on this one, but I'm just curious, outside of the technology, just in terms of the relationship that you have with Avaya, one, what continues to be the biggest challenge for you guys today? And separately from that, what's the best thing they've done for your business in the last year?
Okay. So,
That's a great, sorry.
no, good, you go first, good.
That's a great point. It's something we talk about a lot because we're kind of in the isolated no man's land called Atlantic Canada. When the world stops basically at Montreal, and that's it for Canada. So that's always been kind of the attitude, but we've had to learn our own way and make our own way forward. So our engineers are very well trained. They've learned by doing and so on over the years. What's changed in recent years is Avaya has noticeably ramped up their level of support for our company in terms of putting out TAMs and extra support in the field. And it's been a noticeable engagement with us in the last, I'd say, 2 years in particular, where we've really felt that they've stepped behind us to give us the support and the help that we need to grow our business. And we've gone from being a company that might have sold a phone system by Avaya maybe once every 2 months to, several, every week we're selling a pretty decent volume. And that's helped us to increase our business with Avaya. Our discount level is improved, which has been extremely beneficial. We've been telling them for a long time that I can sell Panasonic, I can sell Toshiba, and I can win. I can't win with IP Office until you help me. They did. The discounting in place has helped us because it's a very cost-competitive market, and the support has been very good, and we're winning, and we're very happy with that. So I will say it's been a huge improvement.
And I'll also just add to the fact that I'm extremely excited to support that we get from Avaya. Personally, they have been fantastic. They put us on the right roadmap, the model that we're achieving right now, from the support that we're getting from every aspect of the business. Every level has been off the charts fantastic. They put us on a fast path track to achieve platinum status inside of 14 months. So we're making the right investments. We're getting the right strategies from them, where to invest in personnel, technology, products. So I don't have a bad thing to say other than we just look forward to keep growing like hell. So we're having a lot of fun with it. So.
If I may, for a second, I just want to, I would echo the previous two answers and add one or two items as well. One of the areas that they've really made a significant change on over the previous year is in their certification requirements and metallic status. Their philosophy has changed entirely, and they're moving away from the age-old, you've got to spend so much money to get your metallic status model, into something that's completely focused upon the certifications that you have within your business. And that, to me, has been an exercise in pushing partners to migrate and evolve to a place that we all want to be as far as the new business model that's out there. We're going into the cloud, and we're all becoming more data savvy, those of us that came up from the UC side, Fabric coming on and all of that. And Avaya has taken a lot of steps to really help partners get to the right place and increase their focus in the area. That's a huge change. And in the short vision, sort of myopic view, that's painful. But in the long vision, that's extremely beneficial. At least it has been for our organization.
So we have a question from the media right here.
Hi, I'm Mike Castanelli from the Bar Guy. So kind of going on Paul's question, how do partners stand to benefit from the direction that Avaya is going in, and what are the inherent risks associated with that?
I can help answer that one a little bit. You don't? Okay. Being a partner for 14 years, we seem to, in the past, not only get attention on the enterprise level. Now with Avaya, with the push going into mid-market, we have a mid-market CAM that is supporting us. So we have we have a great relationship on the enterprise side. Now we're seeing a push for the mid-market, and specifically a CAM to actually help us achieve success in that market. It's helped us a ton. So he's helping us with a lot of inside telemarketing, outside programs, so on and so forth. So I'm happy to see that balance between understanding that 99% of the business out there is mid-market compared to the enterprise play.
So also what it does is they've evened out the playing fields. We're a small mid-market partner who can now compete with larger partners because of what they've done with the market itself. So I think that's very, very important to be able to compete with the larger partners who've been around for with on the enterprise level. But in the mid-market end of it, we never had that opportunity. So in the last 2 years, they've been working on the mid-market, where now that mid-market has opened up, going up to 2,500 stations, 150 sites. So for us, it's becoming a big deal on that end of it. So our largest customer is 4,000 stations. I'm just giving you that example. So on the mid-market end of it, they've done a great job.
Yeah, I would add, to kind of bring a couple of these comments together, that Avaya's changes in their channel programs they're really incenting or forcing, if you will, partners to evolve their business model towards the business model that Avaya knows they're going to have to succeed in the future, which is more of a cloud-based model. And so for partners that are embracing that, Avaya is very helpful in supporting that transition. For partners that don't want to make that transition, that's created challenges for them.
And I want to just quickly, I think Richard talks often about investing in partners, and if you put together a plan that's ramping your business quickly in the mid-market space, they are willing to invest. From a partner's perspective, if you're relevant, if you're willing to take action and have measurable results, just validate for the whole community that they are actually putting their money where their mouth is, which hasn't always been the case. So it's really exciting to see.
Tim?
I have a couple of questions. One is...
and Tim's with Forrester.
Yeah. How many of your companies provide managed services in the form of remote management and monitoring to your customers? See? Okay. And my second question, Avaya's partner systems. On a scale of 1 to 5, your partner portal that you log into, on a scale of 1 to 5, how satisfied are you with those? 5 being very satisfied and 1 being not satisfied?
It's been changing over the years.
So currently, how many rated at a 5? How about 4? 3? 2? 1? Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, Rohit Mehra with IDC. Talk a little bit about data networking as the underlying infrastructure for UC&C. And there was discussion around all of the software-defined infrastructure as it relates to cloud and where you can enable your enterprise and mid-market customers. Can you share any experiences you've had with success or not, putting the whole Avaya package together where you were successful in deploying networks as well as the UC portfolio from Avaya?
Selling the stack?
Yeah, selling the full stack, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah, so, from a standpoint for us, we're, a small and mid-market company. So we've been, over the last year and a half, we've spent a lot of time learning more than just the phone system side of things. So contact center, video, data, and Avaya has helped us tremendously, training our sales force to do so. So now our discussions have gone from just, phone systems to different applications that, like you mentioned with the data networking, and we've actually found a lot of success with that. So we call it our attach rate has been very high with data networking, and now even we're starting to see video, and now with the new contact center out, we're starting to see some more of that. So, I think that's, you take it even further with the wireless, we've added that to our, our stack as well. So, from our standpoint, we've seen our contracts within deal size have gone, way up compared to what we were just selling an IP office before. So I think that's one of the strengths of Avaya in general is that you can, expand them into many different avenues within one customer as opposed to just saying, here's your voice system and your voicemail and good luck. You can really reach out and get into the nitty-gritty with a customer.
This is Jeff again from ROI. We've had good success with the Avaya networking portfolio on the edge, providing power over Ethernet, segmentation and so forth. We are working towards selling the value proposition associated with the next generation Ethernet, shortest path bridging, fabric, and set. So we have several very good opportunities. It is a very difficult discussion to be had for obvious reasons. Cisco and others have very large market share, and it tends to be the path of least resistance for a lot of ours. I found there was no unique advantage there, and there was no margin there to get into that space. Plus, the investment was fairly significant. So what we've got to do now is understand what the biggest challenges are within the customers that we're dealing with, and have a conversation that we rarely had in the past, right? So when you start talking about things like cloud, you start talking about things like security and stealth networking, you start talking about auto provisioning networks. These things are really important within our customers' businesses, but we have to continue to evolve into a point of structuring that conversation, being able to understand the sales motion, and effectively move into that core space. Much more difficult to move into the core space than selling the edge stuff.
And you think cloud will enable you to go in that direction?
Yeah, I think as more and more customers either consider cloud or launch their own private clouds, these are all going to be issues, right? Because at the end of the day, the bigger the company is, the more apt they're going to be a service provider to their own internal line of business, right? So they have to deal with the issues almost unlike a service provider does. And these things are going to become more and more important, I think.
I just want to ask the panel their thoughts on the new cap number of 200K per quarter. What challenges that present you?
Are you talking about the growth rate? Is that what you're right to? You're talking about the growth rate? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
The 200K of the growth rate?
From 50 to 200.
That's what he's talking about. He's talking about Grow Right Release 2,
Grow Right Release 2.
where Richard Strelanka was talking about removing that barrier
Yeah.
And bringing it up to 200,000?
above if he needs to.
So your question is what? What do we feel about it?
Yeah, I feel
Well, it went up from 150 to 200, so it's great.
What does it do in terms of changing behavior or changing focus? I mean, it's great to get more money. Okay, thanks. But what does it do?
I'll tackle that one first. I know for us, we use it as an incentive within our team, right? So how we use that is the owners that I work for, this guy right to my left, they've been awesome since I've come here. And how we do it is we explain to the team that we sell the stack, we start to hit these different buckets of money. We're reinvesting it back in our business and putting in state-of-the-art center of excellence in our building so that we can showcase all that technology for our customers. So it's a nice cycle for us. So that's how we've been leveraging it.
It's definitely an incentive. That definitely is. It pushes you to go out and sell that stack.
And to buy it.
Yeah, and that was kind of my question. So in one case, there may be more investment in, for example, a center of excellence. In another case, it may be you flow it right down to the rep and say, hey, this quarter, you guys did great, so now there's an extra, so sales compensation. So I was just kind of curious what buckets and what things it would flow to.
And they actually do that really well, right? It's not only the Growth Right 2 now, but it's also their MDF funds that they keep on pumping back into you based on your production and what you're looking for, whether it be headcount or it be telemarketing, internal or external. They're constantly doing that, and they're doing that better and better every single day. So increasing of TAMs and ITAMs, which is inside TAMs, right? All of that goes back to the factor that they're actually paying attention to the partners who are actually going out there and selling, versus 4 years ago, we didn't have that attention.
Blair? So I know in the past there's been some challenges with competing with Avaya when it comes to professional services. Can you talk about that? And you're all nodding your heads. So can you talk about the changes and what's going on and what you'd still like to see happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. There still is some compete there. There's some new programmatics that Avaya has rolled out that, depending on application complexity, you have to sell some Avaya professional services attached. So they're kind of really torquing that down to make sure that you don't sell something you're not qualified to implement, and then if it's an early adopter or just being launched application, they want to make sure you have the air and ground cover you need. I have been able to compete and win very successfully in professional services, and I continue to augment my own internal capabilities with Avaya Professional Services, which is my preferred go-to-market model. That way I don't have to staff for applications I might only see once a quarter or twice a year. So it does allow me that elasticity, if you will. But there is a little bit of competition there, depending on whether it's an Avaya-led engagement or a partner-led engagement. Because if it's a partner-led engagement, you can dictate how the professional services get assembled and delivered. If it's an Avaya person working closely with you, you're expected to sell Avaya professional services. So that's kind of a rules of engagement type of a expectation that Avaya has made very clear to their partners. But we've definitely seen that lessen over the last 12, 24 months for sure. It's a much more partner-centric organization than it used to be.
Yeah, I would agree. From a professional services standpoint, I see it more as an enabler to provide a broad range of skill set where you may not have that consistent revenue stream to be able to staff that in-house. I think where a lot of the conflict was with the legacy of Avaya and Nortel partners from a maintenance standpoint, and not so much a professional services standpoint. Having only been an Avaya partner for a couple of years, I didn't have a big maintenance base that was driving a majority of our company's revenue, that I had to go through that transition. But what I found with Avaya's maintenance offer is, incredibly competitive. And we are able to, and I think most of the partners here have found ways to really wrap that their own services around that as a component of their full managed service offer. So again, for us, it's been an enabler, not a competitive thing.
Quick comment on that too. IP Office Support Services has been a great enabler for what we call our cat care maintenance services plans. It really puts some meat into what we're offering, as opposed to just providing fast service and an SLA based around response time on service. It's enabling us to put real meat into the monthly spend and provide real value to the clients.
Yeah, hi, Rich Costello with IBC. I cover UC in video, and my question is around video, the opportunities for that. But specifically, I was curious about your impressions of the Scopia solution.
Anything specific around
Anything specific, or is it a general question?
I'll jump on that one. We were talking about it in the car, and so Scopia, we've been a long time life science dealer, so we've got a lot of experience in that particular product, and so not as much experience with Scopia other than a few product demos I've seen. One of the key things that I heard is that Avaya is moving towards the cloud-based solution, subscription service with the Scopia, which is very, very important to us. We actually sell a cloud-based solution on LifeSight, which our customers have really embraced. But the benefit of having that tied into the IP Office, to have the voice conferencing and all those feature sets tied into a real-time video conferencing solution that can talk to any other device is extremely valuable to our business in the small, medium business market. So my impression so far is I need to learn more, but I have seen it in action. It's a great product.
Yeah, I'll add to that a little bit. Like we weren't using or selling or providing video before, and got introduced by Avaya to it, and we've really embraced it to the point where our internal people use it. Our inside sales team uses it to engage with customers out of our territory, and that immediately drives a question as to what's this. And when you can literally set something like that up on the fly, basically between a 24-year-old sales rep and somebody on the other end in, say Oregon from Massachusetts, then something's working there. Like we're talking, we get into applications right away as opposed to how many phone sets you got, and so it's helped us tremendously.
And with the whole hosted strategy that they rolled out, a quarter ago or so, the whole point of entry for especially the mid-market customer is gaining some traction. So we had a huge funnel of infrastructure, 61 or 6,000 series bridges, and actually bringing those to closure was extremely difficult. And now, honestly, if our customer is interested, we'll give them a couple months, maybe a year free of Avaya Live, and it's growing legs, right? So again, that point of entry, the conversation with customers, do I really want to spend $100,000 or is good enough? So you kind of constantly run up against that type of conversation. And again, we're now enabled, I think, to have an easier path into the customer, into the conversation. And I see that that's going to leverage larger infrastructure sales in the future by being able to have the cloud knowledge to start.
John, and then David.
Hi, John Burke, Emerges Research. One of the things that end users talk to us a lot about these days is voice over wireless LAN. And I'm wondering if you're starting to see help me make my wireless LAN voice ready as an entry point to selling voice solutions and UC solutions.
Yeah. This is Jeff. I absolutely am seeing that. I think that the evolution of wireless from a standpoint of now AC, a lot of customers have the traditional AVG wireless. They may not have jumped into N. Now they're looking at AC. Frankly, what's driving that is bring your own device, bring your own anything, right? So part of that is that the traditional wireless networks were never really built to carry voice, right? Hospitals, healthcare, other certain vertical applications had to do that to support voice over wireless LAN, but now it's almost a business imperative. So I'm seeing a lot of LAN refresh decisions actually get made part and parcel because of the voice over the wireless LAN, and specifically, taking traffic off of the cellular network and routing it on the Wi-Fi when you can. So Avaya's done a really good job allowing you to use their applications, traditionally being 1X or now Avaya Communicator, in a multi-mode scenario, right? So if I'm in a coffee shop on Wi-Fi, I can launch a soft phone and conduct full business. But if I go mobile, my next call can be actually over the wireless, over the cellular network, right? So it's very flexible. I think the work they have to do on that offering going forward, frankly, is to make sure that their new wireless LAN 9100, which was really showcased in Sochi, is actually in direct parallel to where they're going with their software client strategy, because that's really, I believe, where the value is going to get unlocked. I don't know how much you know about the Avaya Wireless, but it's really a part of that voice over wireless LAN, and that you can profile different applications that the users are enabled with and prioritize accordingly, and or throttle back certain applications that might be impacting voice quality. And that's something that's not really been generally available in the wireless LAN space. So they got some really good tools with the wireless LAN 9100, the identity engines, as well as what they're doing with their software endpoints.
Hi, Dave Michaels. In the sessions this morning, there was some encouragement to think more about the cloud and make that a bigger part of your business. Do you consider Avaya a cloud company?
Well, they definitely have the fabric for it, right? So from that perspective, yes. Are we talking cloud as in a hosted cloud in the offering? Is that what we're talking about? Is that what you're asking about?
I was just curious how you interpreted that messaging this morning, and how that changes your plans or your views.
Well, from the infrastructure side of it, I think definitely they've got the infrastructure background to develop the cloud. From the hosted perspective, I think they're coming into the market now, and they've got several different models that they're testing out, whether it be with Synex or Catalyst from that end of it. And I think on the mid-market end of it, eventually the model that's going to stand out on the hosted end of it is going to be the one that is offered by others, like such other carriers such as Broadview or others who are offering it today, that they've developed their own infrastructure, they're doing their own billing. I think on the mid-market of it, we're seeing a lot of demand for that portion of it, if you're going to be developing that cloud. So I think they are definitely a contender, and I think they're coming out very strong in what they're going to be doing in the next 6 to 8 months.
I'll just add one thing quickly to that. I think that they've always been very mindful of making sure that legacy products